This is what everyone's talking about.
Everything's on the table.
This is what champions come to take. This is what everyone came to see.
And the slam!
No do-overs. No second chances. No more Mr. Nice Guy. This is winner take all. The NBA Finals continue on ABC and the ESPN app.
Okay, let's get it popping. Now, I'm not going to lie. I didn't get on the couch yesterday. I know some people, which it might not look like a lot of people actually care or wonder, but I actually have people, thank you for the gifts. I actually have people that care whenever they don't see me on the couch. Because if you don't see me on the couch, then you know it's something going on, because I don't like to miss a couch. I don't. That's one thing about me. The consistency. So if I can't be on the couch, it's because I absolutely can't. Like, I'm in a lot of pain from lupus and chronic illness and chronic pain as well. So that's why I chose to do autoimmune disease awareness every month on the couch. Because even with sickle cell, autoimmune diseases, a lot of people don't know the information except for what they Google. And there's more information that's out there, but there's not a lot of patients that's willing to blog it or talk about it or wanting to. Because when you have an autoimmune disease, trust me when I say it gets tired talking about it. It gets tired just saying, yeah, I'm not feeling good today. You know, it gets annoying. So I've lost friends because they couldn't take the fact that I was always, you know, in pain. They thought that I was trying to ignore them, or I just didn't want to be around them. And I'm just like, yo, I promise you, I want to be around y'all. Like, I want to be with people and be around people and have fun. But sometimes, even when I plan to get up and do this, anything, no matter what it is, even whenever it's the couch, like, my pain has been so severe lately that it's getting harder to motivate myself. So I'm really appreciative to all my couch potatoes that, you know, send me messages and keep me lifted. Now, when I took an x-ray of my neck a week ago, it said it was slipping, but my MRI is not saying it. But MRIs and x-rays is different. I know what I feel. I know what's going on. I know it's something wrong. I got a severe migraine, but I'm hoping that we can get to the bottom of it, because I'm tired of it. I am tired. You know, the weight of my hair was so much, I just unraveled all of them. I was like, you know what? Anything to give me a little bit of relief in my neck area. I love my locks, and I cried about it, but I was like, I can't. When my wife lifted my locks up, and I was like, oh my God, that feels so good. I was like, I started unraveling them that same day. I said, no, we getting these bitches out, because I need my neck. I need my neck to be in pristine shape. Before we go on, let's give a moment of silence for the ones who aren't here with us today for whatever reason. Let's give this moment to them. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you. Now, with lupus, if you've ever, you know, felt like you needed to be tested, you may or may not have gotten back a positive ANA. If the doctor knows what they're doing and they actually testing you for lupus, a positive ANA doesn't always mean that you have lupus. This is what the doctors say. Even though you'll have the symptoms, you're telling them what's going on with you, sometimes they won't believe you until they actually see a positive ANA. And even when they see it, they try to convince you that it's not a real read-in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for some people that's listening, they like, you know, how could they do that? But they do that. If they don't really want to treat you or put you on medication, or they do what they want. So that's why it's so important for us, lupus patients, and anyone that has an autoimmune disease, we have to advocate for ourselves, or have a significant other or someone close to us advocate for us, because who's going to actually make sure that we're getting the proper treatment? There's absolutely no cure for lupus. Absolutely none. So anything that we do or try, it's only to alleviate the pain. Period. So I get scared when it comes to trying something that's just to alleviate the pain, because it's like, okay, like I get it. Because I don't like the pain that comes with lupus. But it's like, I don't want to be drugged up, missing out on life because I can't wake up, or because I'm just so sleepy or drained from the medication on top of having lupus. That's like extra drained, so I don't want to be like that. I want to know exactly where my pain is coming from, because with lupus, it can affect you anywhere. It could be my head today, it can be my shoulders tomorrow, it could be my kneecap all next week, it can be my ankles, it could be wherever. Any part of your body can be affected by lupus. Now, once you see your results, everything in your life literally starts to make sense. Because when you're going through things, you don't know, especially if you don't know anything about lupus or what to ask your doctor, because I wrote this on my timeline yesterday, is if you don't ask the right question, you won't get the answer that you really need, or the right answer, period. So if you're not saying, going to the doctor like, hey, is there a way you could check me for lupus, or is there a way you could check me for sickle cell? If you're not saying that, they're going to test you for like STDs, like the normal shit. But if you want them to get serious and get down to the get down, you got to be specific with what you're asking. Because if you don't ask, they won't do it. So once you realize, hey, these symptoms could have been coming from having lupus. This rash could have been because it's a lupus flare. And lupus flare comes in many different ways. Like, right now, I actually have to put a little bit of makeup on it. But if I didn't have makeup right here in this area, every time I have a lupus flare, I think the furthest it got was like right to here. So, and that's normal for anyone that has lupus. You can get the butterfly rash, which could cover up your whole face like a butterfly. Luckily, mine's only go like right to there, and then all of this part, and then sometimes down in there. But it gets annoying, it makes you depressed. That's why a lot of times when you go to the doctor and you say, hey, I got lupus, or if this is a new doctor and you just, if they read in your chart, the first thing they're going to do is put you on antidepressants. And I say this all the time because it's like, I get it that I'm going to be depressed with this, but they're letting you know that this is a depressed disease. This disease is so depressing that no matter what symptom you got, we're going to make sure that we add an antidepressant to your regimen. Period. That's what they do. But like I said, once you realize, hey, this is what has been going on, all this, bruises that's been popping up, everything that's been popping up, now everything is making sense. You know exactly what to look for, what to ask, and now you're digging deeper into the autoimmune disease that you may or may not have. 90% of the time when you have a positive ANA, yes, you do have lupus. Don't even allow a doctor to make you believe that you don't. Just do what you can to make sure that you're healthy. I know for one, there's a lot of foods that if you have lupus, you're not even supposed to be eating. Potatoes, tomatoes, any nightshade vegetable. Like, it's a lot of them. You literally, man, the diet that we actually supposed to be on, every lupus patient will be skinny than a motherfucker. I'm so serious, because, like, what the fuck can you eat? Nothing. Garlic, you absolutely are not supposed to have garlic. I love garlic. But you absolutely not supposed to have it. These are some of the things, man. Now, right now, they are working on, which, if I'm not mistaken, it's been successful. It's called Rapid Advancement CAR T-cell therapies. Now, what this do is it originally was used in cancer treatments, and it's a living drug, and it's supposed to like repair your, the cells, the immune cells, and lower the count of the harmful cells that's out there. Now, the thing is this. They're not saying that if they give you this treatment that they used to use for cancer, that it's going to cure lupus. They're not saying that. What they're saying is they can help alleviate some of that pain. But even with cancer patients, some of the medications that was used made their hair fall out. They had worse symptoms and side effects. So who wants to go through like a chemo type of therapy, stem cell therapy, if it can have so many different side effects? My hair already falls out from lupus. I'm already dealing with a lot from lupus. I don't want to have another drug in my system that may or may not alleviate the pain or may not cause other issues. I just can't do it. And now the thing is, lately, I don't know if you guys have been looking at your ingredients. I always talk about this on the couch. Always look at your ingredients in your food. If you noticed an extra ingredient called bioengineered chemicals, a bioengineered product, no, seriously. There's some Oreo cookies. You can look at the back of it, and in the ingredients, it'll say a bioengineered chemical. I swear, all you gotta do is look. Now, here's the thing, is they're using bioengineered cells to help alleviate and kill some of those bad cells. What bioengineered chemicals in this medication, and it's in our food now. I'm gonna let y'all do your own digging on that, but I want to put that out there that y'all listen to this. A bioengineered chemical to help alleviate the pain of lupus. And there's also bioengineered chemicals that's now in most of our food. Man, that's crazy. I just don't understand it. I know that was off subject, but it's really not, because bioengineered chemicals are in this new treatment, this new stem treatment for lupus, and it's also in the new ingredients for some of our favorite snacks and just foods, period. It makes you wonder, like, are they trying something out on you guys first and then adding it into the medication? Anyways, no matter the treatment, whether it may or may not work, like I said, to alleviate the pain, there is no cure for lupus. There hasn't been any documented cures as of now. Like, you can Google, has anybody ever been cured of lupus? And it'll absolutely tell you that there's no cure for lupus. One time I had it wasn't really my friend, but one time I was around this guy and he was like, yeah, I used to have lupus. And I was like, used to? He was like, yeah, that shit used to have me crippled and going, I said, and he was in my back seat as he was telling me this. He's like, yeah, but I haven't had a symptom in about a year. I was like, okay. So then he starts to get out the car and he's like, and I was like, what? Ain't that the same noise that you said that you made when you was having a lupus flare? Yeah, this one is kind of like a loop. I said, and what? How did you get rid of it? Because I said it was gone. I was like, oh, okay. There's no cure. And I know you guys say prayer works. And yes, prayer does work for everything except for lupus. I'm so sorry to tell you guys, but you could pray as many times as you want to. You can pray as hard as you can. You can have a priest pray with you. But that still doesn't change the fact that it will not get rid of lupus. That it has not gotten rid of lupus. There's not one person that said, God cured me from lupus. That's not even documented. If it is, please point them my way. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being so serious. It's a reality that we have to come to grips with when we get diagnosed. When you find out that you have an autoimmune disease that has no cure, I don't know if you'd ever been given news of something that can't be cured and how it makes you feel. Like, it wasn't a good feeling. And at the time, I was in prison and I couldn't really express what I was feeling. I just knew that I was depressed, because it's like, you know how many people die from lupus? You know the things that come with it? How hurtful it is. Like, it hurts. And to know that it'll never go away, it's a feeling that I can't even explain. And now, thinking about it, I get it. I see why you doctors was giving us antidepressants, because it is so depressing knowing that you will never, ever, ever have a cure to make you feel one day of no pain at least. If I could have one full day with no pain and being alive still, I'm not talking about in death, I'm talking about in the now. If I could have one day, man, just one, I'd be satisfied. Experts believe that a combination of genetics, environmental, and hormonal factors the trigger of the disease. Now, if your hormones is out of whack, it's a possibility that if you had lupus laying dormant in your body forever, that it can now come out. I've only known growing up, whenever I first found out, that it was through genetics. I had no idea until I started getting older and doing more research on lupus that you could take a medication one day and have lupus the next day. And now that they're saying that your environment could cause lupus, it makes you wonder, what and why? What about the environment can contribute to having lupus? What are you guys putting in the air that's making it come forward? Because how is it environmental? Is it the environmental of the medications that I was just talking about? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. None of this does. Now listen to this. Oh, in any exposure, it says, to modern environmental triggers. Modern. I had to take them out because my neck. It's okay, Ginger. Thank you. Yeah, my neck. Oh my gosh. My C3 and C4 is slipping forward. And yeah, girl, it's just so much. I needed a little bit of relief. So, and it was getting so long and down my back. Thank you so much. So, I just unraveled them all, and it's still as long as it was locked up. It's just, when black people wash their hair, that shrinkage is real. But in exposure to modern environment, modern, that means the now. Modern, what they're doing right now. No, it's not a cure for lupus. It's no cure at all. And then they're saying that modern environmental life can contribute to having lupus or even a lupus flare. That's crazy. That's like, what are they doing to us? Like, y'all are literally making sure that you get as many test subjects as you want. It's crazy. He said, my son's grandma has lupus. Wow. You know, I've only known it to be genetic. I just recently found out that environments can contribute to it. So these are the 5 countries that have the best. Oh, no, not the 5. Excuse me. These are the, I think it's 3 countries that have the best lupus treatments: Germany, Israel, and Turkey. They say they have the very best lupus centers. If you want to, girl, you ain't got to apologize. Oh no. After her car wreck, I'm so sorry. And it might have been a medication that she took, because they also say that a medication can bring out lupus in some patients. So it might have been something that she took after she got her car wreck. I'm so sorry to hear that. I would love to go to any one of these countries to be around the best lupus doctors in the world. Like, come on. They didn't even name any in America. They just named 3 countries. Now, these are the 5 best states for someone with lupus: Washington, North Carolina, Virginia, Florida, and Hawaii. Those are the best states because of the climate. Like, anywhere else, like when I was living in Detroit, it was so cold. Oh my God, the cold hurts my bones and my joints. Oklahoma, it feels like sometimes when I walk outside, I get a big hug from the air, and I don't like that. I don't like that because it's too tight. I feel too tight, and it's just like, ugh. I don't like that feeling. So knowing that these 5 states have the best climate, the air, the density is correct. Like, everything is just right for someone with lupus. I've always heard about Hawaii, but I didn't know. I knew it was a reason why I liked Florida, because I went to visit Florida one time, and I had a show out there, and it was amazing. My body felt so good. It was just like, damn, what is this? Like, ooh, you know. But now I feel like I can't relax. Like, you see, like I can't. It's just too much. Did you know, before we go, did you know that lupus patients aren't supposed to fly without consent from their rheumatologist? Yeah. Now, this is news to me. I had no idea. I knew that I didn't like to fly. I already knew that. But I had no idea that when you have lupus, that you're actually supposed to consult with your rheumatologist before you get on any flight. And that's 4 to 6 weeks. Yep, 4 to 6 weeks before you even fly. They have to know. And not saying that the airport is going to be like, your name is such and such, I have you on the list of people with lupus. They're not going to do that. All I'm saying is, you technically are supposed to talk with your rheumatologist first, because flying increases the UV exposure. The UV exposure is so heightened. And the reason why they specifically say that is because us as lupus patients, we're not even technically supposed to be in the sun. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but it actually makes us flare up even more. Anytime, like even when I'm driving and just my arm, it's like kind of like out the window and the sun is hitting it, I don't care if it's not hitting my whole body. Just that 10-15 minutes in the sun with my arm, I'm exhausted. I don't even want to do anything for the rest of the day. I'm just so tired. Like, the UV exposure is so crucial to us. It's so, like, man, this is why it's so important to know, your do's and don'ts of your lupus, because you don't want to be doing something and then have a flare up and then you don't know what's going on. But we do know what's going on because we know the do's and don'ts, but we still sometimes choose to do the don'ts, like eating garlic, eating French fries, eating broccoli. We still like them. We still do it. So don't be surprised when you're having a lupus flare and you're in the air, on the plane. Maybe this is your first ride. You don't know. Maybe this is your first time flying and having lupus. Well, for you first-time lupus patients, be mindful. You can't fly like you used to. It also increases the risk of infection and potential medication complications across time zones. Again, you have to consult with your rheumatologist before you decide to take a flight. Now, sometimes we need certain medications when we have flare-ups, and what if we're in a different state and we don't have a doctor out there, but your doctor will make sure that you have enough medication to last you for however long you're going. They'll make sure that you have any type of precautions that you need for when you are actually on the flight. And even though everyone loves a window seat on the airplane, it's not a good idea for a lupus patient to have a window seat. So again, I know that's almost like the best part of flying, is to be able to see outside and what we're looking over. If you're taking a night flight, okay, cool. But if it's in the daytime, the UV lights, you are literally up so high, closer to the sun than being on the ground. It could literally send you into a lupus flare that you might not even be able to get out, and you might not have no fun when you get to your destination because of the UV lights, the sun just fucking you up, and now you don't have any fucking nothing. And some people will say you got jet lag. Is that what it's called? Jet lag? Yeah, something like that. But it's not. It's actually exhaustion from the UV. Yeah. So, again, UV exposure is really serious. A lot of times you might see lupus patients that's walking around with an umbrella in the sun. And it's not that we're being bougie. It's that we want to be outside, but we know that it's very harmful to us. So, do what you can to make sure that you are healthy and safe. If you can change your diet, if you're brave enough to change your diet and stick with it, do so. Make sure that everything that you eat at least gives you a little bit of energy, because we're going to need it. If you're vegan like me, it might be a little bit harder. You got to look and do certain things a little bit different. But ultimately, there's a lot of fruits and vegetables that you're not supposed to have. And also make sure to consult with any doctor if you're going on a trip. No matter where you go, I don't care where you're going, always make sure to consult. That way you make sure that if anything happens, you got a backup plan, like medications, if you need a shot, if you need whatever you need, make sure. I'm just saying. I've learned some new stuff today, and I hope that you guys did too. Until the next time, I love you guys so much. It's the Couch Chronicles, where it ain't no fucking limits. I will be live tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. I'm saying that. I'm just trying to think. Do I got a doctor's appointment in the morning? My nerve test is tomorrow. So I'm actually a little nervous about that. And they're checking on my neck and my back tomorrow. So yeah, we'll discuss it tomorrow or Thursday. I love you guys so much, and I will see you at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. Have a beautiful night. It's the Couch Chronicles, where it ain't no fucking limits. Love y'all.